This year we're being very careful. In Sandy City we need to prepare. If we're in a low-lying area, we need to put sandbags down to keep the water in the channel where it belongs and keep homes dry as possible. The majority of Sandy City residents are not in a runoff area, and we're having a big issue with that. We need to conserve our sandbags for the runoff season. Sandbags are used for two different things. They're used for a rainstorm and they're used for runoff. When we use them for runoff, typically we're using them to prevent the water from coming in homes by barricading the water and keeping it in the channel where it belongs. During a rainstorm, we use the sandbags to put across driveways, around window wells, and areas where water will come into your house from a rainstorm, a rain event. Behind me we have Mark and Marcos. They are filling sandbags. So what we do is we have a ladder and we have a couple cones in this ladder, and you can sit down so you don't hurt your back. We fill the sandbag half to 2/3, and then we zip tie it, and then the person that we hand them off to stacks them on a pallet. If you fill them full, then they won't lay properly and you can't carry them. They're too heavy. They're apt to hurt your back. Normally filled at the proper level, but if you fill them too much, then they become much heavier. When we're stacking sandbags, you can get a chain working, and when you get a chain working, then it's easier than walking. A proper chain goes person at the pallet, and then you make your chain as long as it needs to be, whether it's in a truck, at the road, and needs to be behind a house. So that way people don't have to carry. If you need to carry these sandbags, then that's what you do. You pick them up like this, and if you don't have a bad back, then you can carry two. When you get to the stream or where you're throwing sandbags, you place your first sandbag at the end with the zip tie on the far outside, and then you start placing them that way as you go. So the next thing you know, if you need to double stack, then you start like you're doing bricks. You just cross hatch them, and with that being said, you do the same thing, but you start in the middle and you kick it down, so you build a wall. If the wall goes too high, then you need to go too wide and then put a top row on, and vice versa, as you're determining the level of the water in the creek and what you need to protect. We're doing 2 sandbag filling stations as of right now. We will have sandbags, we will have the proper equipment to fill sandbags, and we'll let the volunteers know when they can come fill them. We're trying to be very proactive, trying to prevent any unnecessary damage to homes. And so within the next couple months, let us know and we'll be glad to come out and assess your situation.